Nora Seed is a perfectionist, a bit of an introvert, and, well, mostly just lost. She's chasing a life that feels right, one that would make her feel content and genuinely happy. One day, Nora's beloved cat, Voltaire, curled up on the windowsill, fell asleep, and never woke up. Heartbroken, Nora was startled by the sound of the doorbell. It was Mr. Ash, her neighbor. "Mr. Ash, I'm so sorry," she said, her voice shaky. "Today's been awful. Voltaire, my only real companion, passed away and I can't bury him alone. Could you help me, please?" Mr. Ash gave her a kind nod. "Of course, Nora. I'm here for you." He gently buried Voltaire a little ways from the house, and Nora thanked him, her heart heavy but grateful. Nora worked at a music shop, her only source of income. That day, her boss noticed she was distant, barely engaging with customers. Truth is, Nora had been like this for a while, listless, detached. So her boss suggested she take some time off, maybe even permanently, to clear her head or find a job that suited her better. The shop's slow sales didn't help either, nudging her boss to make the call. Back home, Nora sat alone, drowning in sadness. With nothing left to hold on to, no spark to keep her going, she swallowed a handful of pills, hoping to end it all. But then, Nora found herself in a bright, unfamiliar place. She glanced at her wrist and saw a watch ticking at midnight. Looking around, she realized she was in a library. "Hello? Anyone here? Where am I?" she called out, stepping forward. A woman sat at a desk, scribbling notes. "Hello," Nora said again. The woman looked up with a warm smile. "Hi, sweetheart." "Mrs. Elm?" Nora blinked, recognizing her. "Yes, dear," the woman replied. "Mrs. Elm, why am I here?" Nora asked, confused. "This is your library," Mrs. Elm said gently. "And I'm here to help you." Mrs. Elm was the elderly librarian from Nora's school days. Friendless back then, Nora would spend her breaks with Mrs. Elm, chatting or playing chess. "Nora, how about a game of chess?" Mrs. Elm offered with a twinkle in her eye. I'm super confused, but..." "Sure, for you," Nora said. "It's not a bad way to start a conversation in a place like this." As they set up the board, Mrs. Elm's tone softened. "Nora, I was so sad to hear you made such a choice to end your life. Do you realize what a gift you're giving up? So many creatures would give anything to live even one day as a human." "Oh, who am I talking to?" She chuckled lightly. "It's okay. I'm here to help you see it. So, tell me what's been weighing you down." Nora sighed. "Mrs. Elm, I feel like I've never become who I wanted to be. I never reached the things I dreamed of." Mrs. Elm tilted her head. "Like what?" "Well," Nora said, "I think if I'd stuck with swimming, I could have been a success. Maybe even an inspiration. Famous. Happy." Mrs. Elm's eyes lit up. "That sounds amazing. Let's dive in. This library? It's your life. Every book here is a different version of the life you could have lived. Pick the one where you became an Olympic swimmer and give it a read." Nora walked toward the shelves, and, like magic, they shifted until the right book appeared in front of her. She opened it, and suddenly, she was in a small, cozy room, waking up to the early morning light. She glanced in the mirror. Her face looked younger, brighter, alive. Her body was fit, athletic, on point. "Wow," she whispered, feeling lighter than ever. Her assistant knocked and popped in. "Nora, you're speaking at that fancy hall at 6 tonight. Everything ready?" "Oh, yeah," Nora replied, still dazed. Then her phone rang. She stared at the screen. Dad. Her heart skipped a beat. In her old life, Her dad was gone. Tears welled up as she answered, "Hi, Dad." The warmth of that call flooded her with a strange, wonderful feeling. She guessed her dad was still alive in this life because swimming, his passion for her since she was a kid, had kept their family whole. He'd always wanted her to be an Olympic champion. At the speech, instead of talking about sports or motivation, Nora found herself sharing something deeper. "Our choices," she said to the crowd. "They shape our lives completely. Every decision leads to a new path, branching out like a tree, each one becoming its own unique story." Nora lived this life for a few days, but something still felt off. A void lingered. This wasn't what she truly wanted. Suddenly, everything faded, and she was back in the library, eyes misty. "Mrs. Elm," she said, voice breaking. "What happened?" Mrs. Elm asked gently. It wasn't what I wanted," Nora admitted. "All right," Mrs. Elm said with a smile. "How about we try another life?" And so, Nora began pulling books from the shelves, stepping into different versions of her life. She tried a life with her ex, Dan, imagining that saying yes to him could have led to a happy life. They ran a big farm together, with a little liquor store, Dan's dream. It felt romantic, peaceful, until Dan's betrayal shattered it, and Nora stepped out. She tried being a rock star, chasing her high school music dreams. Then, a glaciologist, fulfilling her teenage fantasy of exploring the Arctic with a team of scientists. One day, while on a research trip, her team asked her to keep watch in a safe zone, banging a pot and spoon if danger approached. Lost in thought, Nora spotted a massive polar bear charging toward her. Panicked, she ran, clanging the pot and yelling, "I want out! I want out!" But nothing happened. Her team rushed to her rescue, and back at camp, exhausted, she collapsed into bed. When she opened her eyes, she was back in the library. "Mrs. Elm, why didn't I get out when the bear attacked?" Nora asked, shaken. Mrs. Elm smiled knowingly. "Oh, Nora, you only leave a life when you truly don't want to keep living it. But you were fighting to survive, weren't you?" Nora nodded slowly. "Yeah, I guess I was." Mrs. Elm's eyes sparkled. "See, Nora, you want to live." Nora admitted, "Yeah, but I'm still so confused." She tried more lives. A scholarship with her old friend is studying whales, an old fantasy they'd shared. In this life, Iz was alive, unlike in Nora's real life, where a car accident had taken her. She tried a life caring for animals, especially dogs. And then, a life where she said yes to Mr. Ash, her neighbor, now a surgeon. In this life, Nora studied philosophy at Stanford, became a professor, and even wrote books. It was calm, fulfilling, almost perfect. One night, as she read one of her own philosophy books, a small voice called out, "Mommy!" A little girl stood in the doorway, rubbing her eyes. "Show a little quieter, sweetie," Nora said, her heart catching at the unfamiliar word. "I had a bad dream," the girl whispered. "Come here, love," Nora said, pulling her close. This little girl was beautiful, sparking anew, swirling warmth in Nora's chest. She loved taking her to the park, loved the quiet life with Ash, loved this family. But then, everything started to crumble. She was back in the library, panicked. "Mrs. Elm, what's happening?" Mrs. Elm's voice was calm but firm. "Nora, it's time. You've tried every life you thought you needed. Now, take this blank book and this pen. It's time to write the rest of your story. But remember, life isn't like this library. You can't just jump out when things get tough. So, when you're unsure, when you don't know what to choose, sometimes it's wiser to pause and not choose at all." Mrs. Elm's eyes softened. And Nora, this isn't your only shot at life. God created you once, and He'll bring you back again after this life ends. That's when you'll live your real life, one shaped by the choices you made here. True peace, true joy, that's waiting for you. Go with God, Nora. Nora woke up in a hospital bed. Her stomach had been pumped, and she was recovering. She glanced at her watch. 0:01. So just a heads up, the ending of the book was tweaked a bit by the reader and the video creator. They added a few sentences to Ms. Elm's lines because it felt like the story needed them to feel complete and really speak to that deep, truth-seeking human spirit. If you're into checking out famous stories in a short and sweet way, make sure to follow Gudek's Stories. And if you're feeling extra kind, drop us a like to show some love. Thanks for sticking with us and paying attention.